Hi there.
Hello.
Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish. All right. Good morning, everybody.
Okay, so you're the robotic thing for me right this second. It's not. We're not having a good morning here.
Did you get your keyboard
No,
working yet? No. Okay.
no.
So Joey, whose only job is to track the chat, is unable to read the chat, and she can't hear me because her microphone or her speaker is not working properly. So I think we may as well just let Joey take over and say and just run the show since she's not good for anything else.
She's
Oh
a,
dear.
okay. Here we
Mary
are.
Mary is Mary is will be up, we think. She's a little under the weather
Yeah.
this morning, so we're hoping she'll be up.
So Mary's under the weather. I'm having issues.
Yeah. Joey's having issues.
So yes, I try to chat and say hi to everybody, and I apologize. The whole thing covers my chat, and I can't do anything. So
Turn it off and back on, see if that
yeah,
works.
I may do that while we're talking. So
Reboot it. See if Morgan, happy birthday, Morgan.
yes, happy
That's
birthday,
awesome.
Morgan.
Right. Nice to have you with us, and hope you have a absolutely lovely day out
Yes,
there
yes.
in the wilds of Kentucky.
The wilds of Kentucky.
Kentucky can be wild.
Sure, of course.
Been there, done that. Know about Kentucky. I was in Kentucky 60 years ago. 60 years
That was
ago.
a long time ago.
A long time ago, yeah. When I was a boy in
Yeah.
college, I was in Kentucky. And I remember one day, um, a friend of mine and I, we were active in a little ministry group that went into the local jailhouse and held services and brought gifts and whatever else, just trying to do something nice. And it was, as best I can describe it, a hellhole. It was a hole straight out of hell. Indeed, it was. It was a it was a concrete block building about maybe 30 feet, about a 30-foot cube actually, 30 by 30 and 2 stories high,
Wow.
solid concrete, that had a few cells on the bottom floor, um, that had doors that didn't work. I mean, you couldn't lock them up. There was a pass through on the first floor so that the wife of the jailer could pass food in to the
Oh wow.
prisoners. They if there was a woman in the jail, they would lock her in one of the little cells, so the man who had the run of this 2 stories couldn't get to her. Or if they arrested a prominent bootlegger, he would have private quarters, where he would bring all of his furniture in, and his slaves, and be able to hold court there in this prison. No running water, no facilities of any kind. It was a bucket brigade, a genuinely nasty place.
Mm.
So, anyway, my friend and I went to see the judge to complain about this. And we sat down in the judge's office and registered our complaint. And he said, "Well, here's the problem, boys. If we make it nice, then they're going to want to live here because it'll be better than home."
Yep.
So it's and that was number one. And when he finished saying that, he said, "Now, would you like some of this?" And he pulled out a mason jar and sat it on his desk and shared moonshine with us. I think neither of us took any, as I recall.
You didn't trust it, or you
I
didn't?
later learned to love it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
much later.
Funny. Well, my last trip to Kentucky was much different. It was in November. We were
Yeah,
just doing
Kentucky
postings.
was an interesting experience.
Yeah. Very funny.
Have you got
Although
your
that idea of him saying, that he didn't want the jail to be too comfortable. We used to
right?
have a gentleman in town here that would do just enough in the fall to get himself in trouble, just enough to get locked up for 5 months so that he could spend the winter in jail, and then he'd spend the rest of the year out on the streets.
Right.
So
So
he
you
had
had
it figured out.
a warm place with three
Yep,
squares. Yeah,
exactly. Yep.
yeah. Works for me.
Yep.
Uh,
All right, so I cannot get in the chat because I can't type in the chat because the screen is messed up. But I can
Mary
look in
is
the chat.
yeah, Mary is in the chat, so
Yep,
we'll just let
Mary's
her
saying
do that.
hi. I'll try to look for questions.
Jail ministry in Kentucky is what absolutely saves a lot of people's lives, because the jails are hellholes, no question. Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi,
Yep.
Florida's pretty good, but Florida's that's a whole other can of worms. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, some of these. Oh, Arizona's the pits too. Arizona's really bad, but that's more an administrative kind of concern. Hillbilly, hillbilly nomad. Oh, anyway. So Mary, you're in charge of the
Yeah,
chat, my
I'm
dear.
looking. I'm looking. I haven't seen a real question yet. There's a lot, the usual banter. Everybody's saying hi and talking back and forth, and
Hillbilly nomad.
I went back as far as I could go back, and now I'm scrolling down. So
Hillbilly, I would love to collect darters in Tennessee. Absolutely would. One of these days, I'm going to get it together to be able to do that. I don't know quite how I'm going to pull it off. I need to be able to get out of this place to do it,
right,
and I
you need
need
to get out of Florida.
the vehicular and testicular necessities to pull it off. But it's going to happen.
Well, you definitely would have to have somebody taking care of the store that could man
Yeah,
the store while you're gone.
I think Thomas can do that.
There you
He's
go.
he's getting there. He makes more money at it than I do.
Well, you
I,
got all winter to get him straightened out, so you
yeah,
can go.
exactly. Right,
catch some fish
right.
in the creek.
So that's a good goal. Next spring, come spring, I'm going to get in the van and start traveling.
There you go.
All I got to
Yeah,
do,
let him man the store. That'll work.
yeah, yeah, we'll see. As long as he can make enough to pay himself, I don't know. We'll let
Well,
the
that's
bill
a goal.
fly. Uh,
That's a goal. Make enough
really?
money to pay yourself this week.
Yeah.
All right. So unless I'm missing something, what? I'm.
No.
I don't see an actual question.
T-Bone said never been to jail, touch wood. Yeah, you and me both, T-Bone.
Me
You and
either.
me both. I have so many good friends who have been destroyed by the prison system.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
All right. So I guess let's just talk about anything for a minute and see if
Something a
somebody
bit more
puts a question in.
pleasant, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. All right, let me do this. This will be interesting. This is relatively controversial, but I think I'll do it
Okay.
anyway. Uh,
Okay. Great. Let's
all right.
go.
Yesterday we had some blue conversation that I'm sure those of you who were here were well aware of. Uh, by and between beloved Scholars. I want to say this about that. Um, we have, for a long time, pretty much since the beginning, fashioned ourselves a sort of court. And by that I mean Lee, who has been uh, um, kind of an essential part of this, has assumed a certain role in the court, as have I, and as have a number of others of us. Lee kind of is in charge of this, in that he establishes titles and the like, and we humor him because he's a Brit after all, and they don't have good sense, but it's fun. So occasionally, Lee and his inimicable uh, character, personality, um, makes comments uh, that are ribald, ribald, ribald. It means um, humorous to an extreme, humorous to a level that might otherwise be socially distasteful. Ribald humor, if you will. He does this by virtue of his role as court jester. He's also referred to as our bard because he has a poetic nature. But as jester, the role of the court jester was always to be the one voice that would stand up to the king in humor and in fun and lambast the king, poke fun at him, poke the bear, as it will, um, and cause the king to laugh at himself. So it was a unique role in the old court system, one that is long since passe, I guess. We don't have court jesters anymore. More's the pity, because they helped to maintain the balance of the court. In Hamlet, there is a court jester of sorts, Polonius, who is a pompous oaf, who nevertheless says things that are very pointed and very uh, uh, carefully stated. So Lee occasionally gets on a roll, on a tear, if you will, and begins sending out his missiles. And he did so yesterday. I don't think anyone was offended. and no one need be or ought be. Um, there are other reasons for this behavior that we will not go into, but suffice it, Lee has a golden ticket on this stream to be his body bardy blistering sometimes self, and we appreciate him and respect him and honor him to the point where uh, only I, in my great wisdom, have the power and authority to shut him down for
Right.
3 minutes at a crack, which I have done in the past and may well do again. But it's done in good humor, and it's done if not in good taste, at least uh, in an attempt to be responsible and respectable. And we do dearly cherish Lee, who I know is lurking right now. He's not going to say anything, which is fine. He's lurking there, and I hope he is feeling the warmth and the joy and the pleasure of our involvement and his involvement here with us. So,
Mm-hmm.
enough of that. Thank
Okay.
you.
And
Thank
I
you,
and
Lee.
Rodney, I can't type in the chat, but thank you. I did see what you wrote to me. Thank you.
Uh,
And I still don't think I see a question. So, what were some of the things we were talking about yesterday? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Going to try more Daniels out of quarantine. This is Nicholas. He's saying he's going to try to move Daniels out of quarantine. Going to film it. It will be funny, he says. So okay, so he's going to add some Daniels to his tank. Very good. And Sharpies. I think
that's
he's
an
just
interesting comment by Sharpie about whipping
yeah.
boy. I'd forgotten about that. Um, yeah,
Yes. No, you're right. The
yeah,
the old term, the whipping boy. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Let's see. Nicholas is going to move us. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah. But then
Moving
he
the
says
Jennings.
down
Yeah.
below he's dreading it.
Ah,
He'll be fine.
it'll be fun. Horrible at catching fish.
Oh, I think he's just dreading trying to catch them. Gotcha.
The
Yeah.
the the secret, Nicholas, is if you
Mm-hmm.
haven't watched my video on net and netting, the secret is the biggest net you can possibly find. So big that you may have trouble getting it in the tank. You want at least a 9-inch net. If you will do that, you can move the net to the front of the glass and trap the fish in it and lift it straight up. And you'll be able to get them all that way. It's really very simple. The key to catching fish is to use a big enough net you don't have to chase them because fish are faster than you. And you can run that net ragged and you won't catch them. You want to use a big net. You trap them with it. It reduces stress to zero, and it does not destroy your tank in the process. So I highly recommend anyone who has fish has at least one very large net, the biggest you can get that will fit in your tank. And you
Mm-hmm.
will be delighted how easy it is to catch fish with a big net. Everybody
Yes.
is horrible at catching a 1-inch fish with a 3-inch net. Nobody can do it. It's a hopeless task.
No, you're right. I'll use the big one and just sort of herd them in to where I
Yeah,
want them to
exactly.
go.
That's right. It's
You know,
exactly right. Yeah.
and that's less
Well, they don't
stressful for
see it.
them.
And that's the secret. They
Yeah,
don't
I just
see the big net.
herd them in.
They just kind of go to the middle and all of a
Yeah,
sudden they're in the net. And you pull
because
it
like you,
straight up. You don't swoop with it.
no,
Once
the
they're in that net,
actual
you pull it straight up.
right, the actual chasing is like, forget it,
Yeah,
and
don't
that's
hurt.
pretty stressful.
It's exactly right. Do not try to chase your fish with a net.
Right.
That's a foolish. It's a foolish task. Don't do it. And here's the problem: if you have a little tiny net, you have no choice because they're
Right.
going to run away from it. So you're
Right.
forced to chase them. So to throw it away and get a big net.
Big net. Yeah.
If you don't have a big net, try a large plastic bag or a pillowcase or anything big enough that you can get it in there so the fish will
A,
go in it without them knowing they're going in it.
right. A jar. Just
A
anything you
jar,
can
a
get them
big
into.
open
Yeah.
mouth jar, yeah, anything.
Yeah.
Right. Jars are good.
They are good because they're clear.
Yeah, they don't see them. They can
See
get
them as
threatened.
well. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they just, if they move away from you,
right. Furlough was
which I
saying
use
about a
sometimes
14
make.
and a 9 makes it super easy. You betcha,
Yeah.
Furlough. Absolutely right.
Yeah. Um,
Roman. Roman says, when I was in elementary school, I had many 36-inch wooden rulers broken over my behind and straps on the hand. I know I deserved it, though.
I was just gonna say, my dad said the nuns used to whack them over the knuckles with a wooden
With a
stick.
roller, yeah.
Yeah, a ruler. Yeah. Ouch.
Crystal, hello, Crystal. Nice to see you.
Mm-hmm. Well, Chris,
Yeah, and Mary,
Spear.
Mary's saying, yeah,
Spear.
Roman. Uh, it, it, it seems like a lot of our youth today are missing out on that. Right, they're missing out on discipline,
Oh, that's yeah,
and that's
and
really the issue.
and physical work,
Yeah, physical work.
going out and
Di-
working.
Right, right, right. Discipline is discipline is based on the notion that there are values, that there are things to be valued. So if you don't have any values, there's nothing to discipline yourself about
Right,
or discipline a child over. With values, you adhere to those values and train your children to adhere to those values. My parents were big on values,
right.
very, very big on values.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Hillbilly Nomad says that they use a 1 gallon pitcher from the dollar store to catch their fish. It works great.
A 1 gallon pitcher, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
a clear pitcher, but yeah.
Fishmar just bought some celestial pearls.
Oh, nice.
A nice fish. Somebody
Very nice.
here was breeding them. Was that you? Who was
Roxanne, Roxanne,
it? Right.
she's breeding them. Yeah.
They are real. They're a very, very pretty fish.
I've
Uh,
never kept them, but they
yeah, they're
look
nice.
beautiful.
Well, they're a danio. They're like a zebra, but
Well,
they're a lot
they're
prettier.
small. Yeah.
Yeah, like a rice fish.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know
All of,
people love them.
well,
You know.
they're pretty. They have a really unique pattern.
No, somebody said they look like little trout. Is that true?
They do actually. Yeah,
Okay.
like a spotted
That's
or a
yeah.
rainbow. Yeah.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
Let's see, Tisha
Yep.
talking
Tisha's
about her
doing.
plants.
Yes.
Okay, Tisha, once you get it done, you're going to have to show us what you have done. Tisha's been planting her tank, so that'll be fun to see.
Paul says the school he went to, they used to hit students with a leather strap. There's just
For
so many
failing a
methods.
spelling test. Oh my God. For failing a spelling test. Oh dear. Now that brings back a bad memory.
Right.
Bad,
That's not
bad memory, right.
bad behavior. That's because you didn't do well. That's worse.
Yeah, really, really.
Worse.
I don't even like to think about this one. It did
No.
not involve a strap, it involved a spelling bee. And I was one of the finalists in a spelling bee. And the teacher who was, this is in the local school, so he got down to one person. I think three of us were left, and the two were to go to the state for the state spelling bee, and I was one of the three remaining. And the teacher, whose name was Mrs. Godfrey, who disliked me intensely, never really knew why, but
Mm-hmm.
she had a very she I don't know what it was. She did not like me at all. I was in her English class, and
And you
she
knew.
taught. This was in what grade? Eighth grade, ninth grade, like that. Ninth grade, I think. She taught. She had a class in Chaucer, so we were studying Chaucer, and we had to memorize the meaning of words in Chaucer. I remember one. The word was parapet. What is a parapet? It is a brick high wall at edge of balcony, tower, etc. That's about the only thing I remember.
Remember?
But in any case, she was reading the words that we had to spell, and it came to me, and she said, she said, exercise. And I don't remember having seen the word, and I knew what it meant, but I'd never seen it written out, I think. So I asked her to pronounce it. And she said, exercise. Exercise, she said. Or exer. That's what it was. She said, exercise. And I said, I thought about it for a minute. And I said, EKSER. No, I blew it. I blew it. And so I was the last to drop off, and the other two went to the state, and I was devastated. And I was,
And you felt she was happy and you were devastated.
you bet, I felt she deliberately mispronounced the word so I would
So
fail.
so you
It took
failed.
me
Yeah.
many years to come to the place where I realized she really didn't do that. But that was my
But you
excuse.
felt that way.
Ah, boy, I
Yeah.
was deeply offended. Mainly, I think I was embarrassed.
Well, yeah, there's many of those moments in our lives, right?
Yeah,
You know.
really, really.
Hi, Crystal. I can't type in my chat, so hello everyone, but I can't say hi individually. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Joey can either read or type, not
Right.
both.
Which is pretty much normal. No, but normally it sits to the side so I can see both, but I don't know what it's doing this morning.
Romans and 8:20.
Whew.
Oh, Roman. I looked at this and it said Romans 8:23. I figured she was quoting scripture, but Roman 8:23. All right, where is
Right. Roman has a question
Master
at
Black?
8:23. All right.
Master Black is here. Fish for. There's a lot of cool stuff. All right, 8:23. I don't see it. Eight.
I
Oh,
see he's talking to Mary at 8:23. That's what I see.
who is
Um,
it? Roman.
yeah, she's a Roman.
Eight
I wait a
twenty-four.
minute. I don't
Fishmore.
I don't see an actual question.
Kids need discipline.
I'm in live chat, so I'm not in touch. I don't
I don't
see
either.
it. I hadn't seen a question. That's why I'm like, wow, I missed one. Are we crazy?
Best way, here we go.
Don't answer that.
James Handy down at the bottom. Best way to disinfect new plants for detritus worms and such. Detritus worms. Hum.
Who asked this, Paul?
James Handy.
Oh, James Hand. That's it.
You know, right at the bottom.
Hi, James.
All right,
Um.
James.
Oh,
We're gonna do a little biology lesson here.
well, Okay.
Have your
Can we
say.
can we do both? Can we go
Knock
your
yourself
way
out.
and
Go,
then a
go,
way that you
you
would
may,
do it?
go first by all means.
No, you go
Shoot
first.
your shoot your wad. See if I care. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, if you truly just wanted to disinfect them, and I realize that goes against your way, but I mean, as we said, there's more than one way. So I go with the bleach 20 to 1 solution for, I only do it. Some people do it up to 10 minutes. I do it very lightly, like maybe 5 minutes, and then I rinse them. And that's if I don't want snails. That's usually what I'm trying to get rid of personally in a certain tank. That can be done. And then there's Father Fish's way, but don't do that. Works on things like anubias, a heavier stemmed plant. If you have something that's delicate, you might not want to go that route or go lightly. And now Father Fish will give you his way of doing it.
um, I don't worry so much about it. Um, Mainly because I'm more interested in creating microscopic culture in the substrate than I am in destroying it. While there are perhaps um, bacteria and other critters that can come in on plants that are a danger to fish, I think there's a greater likelihood of healthy bacteria and healthy microscopic life coming in on those plants. I believe that to such an extent that I never ever clean my plants, and I get plants from a farm that raises those plants essentially out of doors in very large vats, much like Dustin does. If you've seen some of his videos,
Mm-hmm.
um, generally speaking, these are healthy environments. Let me put it this way: if you're worried about a bad bacteria, the best cure for a bad bacteria is good bacteria. Good bacteria will always overwhelm bad bacteria, given a level playing field. And by that I mean given an environment in which they're able to thrive. If you have a natural environment in which bacteria and other microscopic life are able to thrive, they will overwhelm threats to their existence and to the existence of the fish and other animals in the system. That's how nature takes care of itself. It is only when that gets out of balance that the bad bacteria, which are nothing more than any bacteria, uh, uh, given an environment that is either sterile or fouled. Those are kind of the two extremes. A sterile environment allows for whatever bacteria hits that first to bloom. You've heard of bacterial blooms, and
Mm-hmm.
to take over as a monoculture. That has the potential to create stress on all the other life forms in that system. The other the other extreme, which is a foul condition. A foul condition will kill off typically beneficial bacteria and will allow certain bacteria that are more rapacious, that are more aggressive, that are more dominant to 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 dominate and to establish another kind of monoculture, and those will attack the fish. Coupled with the fact that the water is foul and is decreasing the fish's ability to maintain its vigor and health. So it loses its what's the term I want? It's well, its ability to maintain itself. I'll think of what I'm trying to say in a minute. Uh, well, thereby allowing that bacteria to
Yeah.
attack it. So you want to avoid those two extremes. You want to avoid either a sterile condition or a foul condition. And the way you do that is by allowing for a natural flora of bacteria to thrive in your system, with recognizing that they create a balance and a natural kind of balance that keeps all of these factors um, in balance and keeps the fish in a condition that's healthier.
Yeah. Well,
Hope
like I
that.
said, I use my method usually to get rid of snails because maybe I'm doing a tank, I want a certain look, and I may only want nearite snails in there, and I don't want all the other snails, and that's why I'll do that to the plants to get rid of excess snails. Not really for any other reason in my case other than snails. Um, and but I don't do it every time, just in specific tanks. So
We're all concerned about things like hookworm and other
yeah,
parasites that rarely, if ever, actually come in on plants.
right,
They typically will come in on other fish. So it becomes important when you get fish in to, number one, be aware of where they come from, and number two,
right,
inspect them carefully. And if you do have any serious question, just set them up in an isolation tank for a week or two and keep an
right,
eye on them. Typically, there will not be a problem. It's unusual that there ever really is. When it happens, you need to learn how to treat them. And frankly, the best way to treat for those kinds of parasites is to pick the fish up in the net and physically remove the parasite. If it's a hookworm or some other kind of surface parasite, you can use a pair of tweezers and
hmm,
pluck it off. Or if you irritate it, it'll let go.
right,
They're easily physically removed.
yeah.
Any of those bigger
I
parasites. Just keep an eye on it and watch for them. other
do.
issues, other issues like bacterial infection or ick or those sorts of things, you may need treatment for. Ick is simple. That's just raising
Right.
the temperature to 86 degrees. I have some rice fish back there right now that have um, I don't know what in the world it is. It's some kind of a white growth on their bodies. I've had it many times before. I treat it as ick. It sometimes goes away. In this case, it is not. So now
Yeah,
I've treated with triple sulfa, and
yeah,
that should get rid of it.
yeah. So could we go back to the pearl danias because Fishmark had a question, basically,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we're talking
Yeah,
about
but
chocolates. But
I need to take a moment break. Can you do
okay,
that for a second? Go ahead and talk
yes.
them through it, and I'll be back. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not going to talk about that because that's more specific to you, but I can talk about something.
All right, I'll be back. Give me a minute.
And I think there was. Let me look. Oh, and I think Hillbilly Nomad had a question about hair algae, um, in which I'm still going to let him field all of those questions. But I will say, like I was saying to you guys about the plants, I do use that bleach solution occasionally, and for my purpose, it is for snails because I don't mind snails. But if I'm putting up an aquascape and I want it to be a certain way, then I don't want all the excess pest snails or ram's horn snails. So I will remove them from the plants. That's usually the only time I'll do that. Other than that, I actually quarantine my plants like I do my fish. I have a bucket and I have a tub that I'll use for either, and I'll just bring them home and put them in that bucket for a week or two and do a couple water changes, and then I'll take them out and put them into another tank. I don't necessarily treat it. I just do water changes and then put them where I want them. I'm famous for buying plants that I don't have a place to put them, but I saw the plant and I liked it, so I throw it in my bucket, and then I think about something to do with it later. That's I don't know, hoarder. I don't know. So, anyway, I am going to let him field the questions because I don't keep pearl danios. And I don't mind hair algae. So if Hillbilly Nomad is wanting to get rid of it, that may be certainly a different subject on how to get rid of it or how to control it. Good morning, Chris. Multi-tank addiction. And again, I apologize for not saying hi to everybody, but when I pull up my screen to chat, it covers the chat for some reason, and I can't seem to do both. So normally I try to say hi to people as they come in, but I'm just having to do it this way. Mary's not here, and I'm up here just rambling about whatever. You're here to talk about fish. And he's coming back. Hi, Kenny. Hi, GRB. I can't possibly say hi to all of you, but we're glad you're here. So the question about the care of the pearl danios, some tips and tricks, whatever you can say there, and then Hillbilly Nomad has going to follow up with hair algae. So go with the danios first.
Well, danios are best kept the way any danios are kept. They're essentially an open water fish that is constantly on the move about midway up the water column. They tolerate cooler water, but you have to watch for ick because they can become weakened. Their immune system. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Was immune system. When the immune system is weakened, the immune system is simply the fish's ability to ward off bacteria or other kinds of disease or parasites or whatever. So it simply means they're a strong, vigorous animal that's very healthy and able to create a slime coat that prevents bacteria and parasites from entering their body or attaching to their body. So if the immune system is weakened by, for example, dirty conditions, foul water, which causes them to lose, vigor, then they're open to attack from marauding agents like bacteria, and it could be any bacteria. Bacteria is a bad bacteria when when it when it attacks something, but it could be literally any bacteria. There's really no good bacteria, bad bacteria. I mean, there's some that are nasty for people. For fish, it's a little different. In any case,
Um,
um,
I'm not quite
they're
sure. I'm
easily
looking at the Hillbilly Nomad question, but it says Father Fish, how do get hair algae? So I'm like, how do you get hair algae? Are you wanting to get hair algae?
buy a Masamo ball.
I have a bucket of them. I have a
I
secret
know,
bucket of them, as we know.
Joey. I'll be happy to ship you a Masamo ball. How do
But
you get
doesn't
hair
it
algae?
happen from like too many nutrients in general? You feel sometimes.
Well, all algae, sure. Excess nutrients in the water column will create algae if you don't have enough plants to absorb the bulk of those nutrients.
Yeah.
It's a plant, and it's a plant that grows. It's an opportunistic plant, um, which means that it has a cell structure that allows it to enter your tank as dust, and literally can enter your tank as dust. Um, Algae cells can be in the air and land on your tank on the water and finding a happy, healthy home, a place of rest and nurture, will grow and will expand, will become an utter and thoroughgoing nuisance.
Well, those mothballs love that bucket. I'm just telling you.
Good place
You
for it
do you
too.
sell them? Are you so that you don't sell them?
I don't sell them. No, I have had them. I had a an employee here for a while who loved mothballs. She was cuckoo for
Me
no
too.
mothballs, and so we had mothballs everywhere. And then we had algae everywhere. And then she figured out she didn't love mothballs
But
anymore.
I haven't had so much of that happen. I have one tank that it's just a nano tank, and I don't know what I just one day I set it up, put all the stuff in, did my substrate, and I literally took about 10 mothballs and just layered the bottom, and that's how I left it. And they've just grown, and I don't have hair algae. I just have this tank of mothballs with guppies
Yeah,
in it.
well, you do have hair algae because that's what
They're
mothballs.
eating it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pardon?
Well, the guppies might be eating the excess, I suppose.
Well, that's
But
possible. That's
I
possible.
mean, I don't have the typical hair algae
Yeah,
that's
I understand. Right.
that
Right.
way. I
It
just
has.
have the mothballs. But anyway, I'm just gonna keep at you about these mothballs because it's fun. But
Oh well.
and I got the golden ticket for that too, buddy.
Yeah. Right. Right. You are. So when we drop the link, oh, okay. Mary wants to come up.
Oh,
Here
good.
we go.
She can't stand listening to me because I can't type in the chat. I can't. She'll come in and fix it.
Yeah, she's been doing a good job.
Oh, she has. Oh no, she's awesome. She kept up with the chat because I couldn't do anything. I can't do anything. So hello again to anybody that's recently come in.
Sharpie has a wormhole to a cribby dimension. Delightful. I love it. Cribby are just a wonderful fish. I love cribensis.
Okay, so Hilda Gomez says, I guess my fingers weren't quite working. How to get rid of hair algae. That's why I was confused. I'm like, are you trying to grow it? Or are you not trying? If you're trying to grow it,
How to
put a
get
lot of
rid of them.
fertilizer in. Just pump that fertilizer in. You can grow it great.
Really.
So how
Well,
would you
there are
suggest they get rid of it?
there are fish that eat it. What fish eat it? There's some plecos that'll eat it. What do I use?
What about Siamese algae eaters?
They'll say, yeah, right. There's
Let's see,
Mary.
the real one. I don't know. Hi, Mary.
Chinese
Good
algae,
morning.
right? You you're up to snuff here, are you, Mary?
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
Okay, Mary's here. Let's leave her and we'll go get coffee.
Yeah, y'all can do that. I'll sit here and talk about something.
Like my rambling while he was gone.
Hey, you were doing great.
Did I
I
do
was
okay?
like,
I was
she's
like, they
got
probably
this.
think I'm crazy. I've lost my mind.
They know I'm crazy.
I think
Oh
they figured me
no,
out at this point. I am going for a cup of coffee,
go
even
Too
though
get
I
bad.
you a
haven't
cup of
been
coffee.
dismissed.
Yes, you do it.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Uh
Canistio and his moss balls.
oh, disintegrated. Did you see T-Bone super chat or super sticker?
I got it up.
Okay,
Thank
that must have been when I was in the middle. So
so
thank you, T-Bone.
Sharpie. How does that happen? Moss balls, platies. My platies are them. Ate them. Ate them.
Oh, ate the moss balls.
Well, it's food. It is food after all. It is a vegetable matter. And
It's
some
an algae.
yeah, some fish can eat them. Hair algae typically is not eaten well by other fish, but there's some that will. Mollies eat it. Mollies will eat hair algae.
Mm,
Flagfish, which is a Florida native,
Florida.
they'll eat hair algae.
I want some of those.
Flagfish.
Hmm.
They're kind of aggressive. They
Oh,
are,
are they?
yeah, but they're very pretty fish. They're called flags because they have red, white, and blue speckles all over them.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of a patriotic fish, I guess.
Are they hard to collect? Do you find a lot of them?
They're pretty easy. They
Oh, that's
get
good.
pretty. We never find big ones, but we always find a lot of little ones,
Little
like
bitty ones.
or so. But they get big. They'll get like an inch long, which is big for them. Maybe a little bigger, and very pretty. The males are. The males have all the color. Females don't have any color. They're more like camouflage, kind of fatter, which makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see.
Most plates.
Yep. Amano and pond snails
Pickle
eat hair algae.
loves its moss balls.
We're still talking about moss balls?
Well, we got back on it. When I saw you, it just sort of popped into my head.
Moss balls.
Someday,
Oh,
someday I'm
Gilly's
gonna.
saying is goldfish eat hair algae.
Yep.
Yeah,
Gil's got some.
Yes.
Yep.
yeah, goldfish are good for algae.
Truthfully, I don't keep moss balls in with larger goldfish. I keep them in with the babies, but they will mess with them, obviously.
Canisteo. Canisteo must not have heard your story of the Japanese
Oh,
pills.
the mossy balls.
Yeah, look at 852.
Need low light, very little flow. Yeah, you need to watch my video. It's right on top, the very top of my channel, Massimo balls, and the little Japanese people who make them.
Or we can just take our hair algae. That's the way to control your hair algae. Just pull it all out, roll it into balls, and then sell it back to that store.
While you're watching TV, roll that hair algae into
Roll
the
that
moss
in, right.
It's kind of like knitting, except you're making moss
Oh no,
balls.
Sharpie. Yeah. There's a few you could do a little wrench party on if you wanted to.
Tisha.
Yep. I was getting ready to say Tisha.
Saying her tank is fully planted and her hands are numb because it's 65 degrees in the living room. I hope your fish tank is not that cold.
Yeah, I hope not too. Terry's Tropicals, thank you so much. Thank you. It's very sweet.
What are you? What?
Talking about goldfish.
At 8:51, Terry's Tropicals had just the general comment.
Right, Emily. I agree. Moss balls and hornwort. When I figured out I could grow hornwort, I thought, woohoo! I didn't know it would grow in a toilet, basically.
And I said that, I felt so bad that day. I said I hated that plant because I was like, oh, I feel like I was, like I didn't mean it but.
No, a lot of people don't like it.
Is the same reason I don't like duckweed and the same reason that reishi is a pain, because when you're trying to catch fish,
it's everywhere. Yep.
If you don't have to catch fish, it's great.
But like, if you've got, say, cichlids or other fish that eat stuff and you just want something in there to suck up nitrates, it's a great plant. Just throw it in there, and it doesn't matter if it gets destroyed because it'll grow back, believe me.
Right. So it's not that it's when I say I hate something, it's more because it gets in my way. It's not that it's a bad plant.
You hate dealing with it.
My way. Yeah.
Platies eat moss balls. That's what we're hearing, Master Black.
Yeah, this is a whole hour of moss balls, so whatever you want to talk about for moss balls, Father Fish loves.
We always go back to snails or moss balls.
And again, anybody that's come in, I can't chat the chat, so hello.
Somebody just came up. I heard it.
Yeah, it's Tisha.
Oh,
hi, Tisha.
Hey, girl.
How are you?
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Let's see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Show us your tank.
Oh, while she's getting ready, I didn't say happy birthday to Morgan.
Look at this.
Oh, it looks wonderful.
Nice. That looks great.
Tisha, that is beautiful.
Good job.
Girl.
Fully planted.
Yes,
oh, it's beautiful.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Absolutely. Look at that.
She got quite a variety there too.
Yes.
And I love your little lily at the top to have
Yeah.
the contrasting
That
color.
is impressive.
Cone snaller too.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
I love
Wow.
it. Good job.
Wow.
Good job.
Be careful
Excellent.
that somebody's going to want to hire you.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
Look at her guppies.
She's got some skills. Look at that. But her poor little hands are cold. But it's worth it.
Yeah, looks good. Good job.
Side.
Wow.
Side view.
About that. Yeah, see, she got her bunch fence in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love the way the lily looks with it. It's just like...
Yes, me too.
It just adds that pop of color. Yes.
Right,
It's a big plant. You may need to be breaking off leaves because it's going to get
it's so pretty.
There's the Salvini.
You think it'll get like too leggy?
And duckweed.
And duckweed, but that's okay.
The leaves get too big on it.
Yeah.
So you can, with that lily, Tisha, when it gets too many leaves on the top, just break some of them off. It will not hurt the plant because it's a plant that gets kind of big. So you'll need to keep it down in a smaller tank. But you will not hurt it by removing some leaves. Just leave one or two.
I know it does, doesn't it, Roman? Everybody's just going on and on about how beautiful it looks, Tisha. Really? And Sharpie said, it's so pretty your boyfriend won't know whether to look at you or the tank.
Oh, now. Oh, no.
That's beautiful.
It is
absolutely beautiful. Yes.
Very nice job.
Nicholas wanted to know what kind of fish do you have?
Rasboras and amber tetra.
Okay.
And guppies.
Lovely. And guppies. Or is
no
it guppies? No guppies, just the amber tetras and the rasboras. Beautiful.
It was the guppy. Okay.
I have to hold it.
Absolutely beautiful.
Lovely.
So did you get... Oh, go ahead.
How close are you to signing off? And when are you going to be able to move into your new home? January?
Next month.
Wow. That's very exciting.
Very nice.
That'll be great fun. Now, to move that tank, just don't break it down. Just lower the water level about 2 inches of water, and your boyfriend will be able to carry it. It will not be too heavy to carry. And then when you get it where you want it, just put the water back in. You don't even need to take the fish out. You can leave the fish and the plants in there. Just lower the water level, carry it. Can he walk to your new apartment with carrying the tank?
That might get heavy. So, Tisha, are you happy with your tank? You love what you
I'm
do?
very happy.
Very, very nice.
Look at that bowl.
Oh, this is her bowl with the Salvini in it.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah, a very big portion.
Yeah, they sent you a lot, didn't they?
Yes. It's way too big for the tank, so
well, once you get moved, you can set up a vat on your porch or whatever, and be able to grow Salvini on that. That'll work out real well. Nice.
See, what was that, Michael? I missed something. Lower water by 2 inches or 2 inches? Was that about moving Tisha's tank?
Taking it back around a little bit.
How about that?
Everybody's saying that your tank's really nice and it's
Oh,
pretty,
yes.
Tisha. Getting a lot of
Thank
compliments in the chat.
Yeah, nice to hear.
Mm-hmm. You've done a great job.
Thank you, Tisha.
Yeah, thank you too.
I'm so glad she came up and shared. I feel like
Yeah.
we've been part of her journey, and that's pretty awesome.
You bet.
Yes, and it's nice to see the progress, and you can see it. You can definitely see it.
This is another testament of following Father Fish's way too. What she's created, that is awesome. Ow. See, I was just looking to see if we had any more questions.
Let's see. I need to. Let me get over.
I will go now.
Michael Long was wanting you to elaborate. He's saying lower the tank 2 inches of water or
Love
lower
you,
it
Tisha.
2 inches of water.
Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful day.
He was asking when you were saying to her to, lower the water and move the whole tank as is. Michael says, were you talking about taking out 2 inches of water or lowering it to just 2 inches of water?
Well,
That's what you meant.
low enough. It's
Okay.
one, not going to splash out, and number two, manageable to be able to carry it. So, I was saying you can lower it down to only 2 inches of water in it and be able to move it without worrying about the fish or the plants.
Let's see. Hillbilly Nomad has a question at 9:02. How many flagfish can be kept in a 10-gallon planted quarantine aquarium?
How many flagfish
can be kept in a
gallon quarantine aquarium? I don't know, 500 or 600. Depends.
Because it's just a quarantine.
Yeah, right. Plus, you're not talking about size. I mean, if these are fry, you could do.
But what if you had a planted 10-gallon aquarium? How many could you keep in there?
I don't know what quarantine's got to do with anything. The question is, how many flagfish comprise a school in a, like, say, a 20-gallon long? And I would say, depending on what other fish you want to put in there, between 10 and 20. The males will fight. So you may not be able to keep a lot of males in it. It's best if you're keeping flags to have them in a larger tank, and that way you can have a dozen or more, but with plenty of plants so they can kind of hide from each other. As with many fish, they set up a hierarchy with a dominant male and other beta males, more submissive males, which will come up and be aggressive when they feel like they've gotten big enough and strong enough to knock daddy off his perch.
But so ultimately what you're saying is the amount you're putting in the quarantine tank isn't the issue. It's how many are you putting into your tank?
Yeah, what are you trying to achieve? Right. If you're trying to achieve a colony, then a dozen or so is a good number. A half a dozen is a good number. It depends too on what else you want to put in there and what size tank they're going in. They're not a big fish; they're a little fish. They get maybe an inch and a quarter long. Not really much bigger. I have right now about 15 or 20 in a 30 long, and they seem to be doing okay. they've been in there a good while.
So Hillbilly Nomad says that it is the quarantine aquarium. I quarantine my plants, and the quarantine tank has hair algae problem. So they'll probably help
yeah.
with that.
Okay, right. So yeah,
Yeah.
a few. Half
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, just drop them there for a little while and then move them to their
Clean up the hair out. You're right.
Yep.
Right.
Well, on the
That's a good
same
way.
subject of 10-gallon stocking, maybe this could be a good topic for a minute, but what do y'all recommend for tank mates with guppies in a 10-gallon tank? From Jonathan. Uh-oh. Did y'all
Almost
just hear that?
I heard a bark.
Yeah, she's gone. There's an issue. So I guess I don't know what question she was on, but I think the question was, what can you keep in a 10-gallon with guppies? What else
With
can you keep in
guppies,
guppies?
right.
Was that it?
Yeah, most anything. Any kind of live bearer, platies, mollies, swords, any of the live bearers. Mollies are good. And with mollies, there's so many different colors. You really can have a real wide kind of spectrum of color. Also, tetras. Nearly any of the tetras are good. I would not keep barbs with guppies.
They can get a little too nippy. Yeah.
Panios are fine.
I like platies.
Smaller fish. Pardon?
I like platies, and they come in so many colors.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, any of the live bearers are perfect.
Somebody's mentioning cherry shrimp or ember tetras. There's all kinds of good nanos you can throw in there.
Anything. Any of the little nanofish. Guppies do well with most everything. If you want to keep the babies, though, you need to have a lot of cover, which is to say, a lot of plants at the surface. For
those nuisance plants I don't like.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Those plants that crawl up my arm. But they work well for breeding. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
So,
let's see. I want to get in here and see if we.
Oh, you should. I was gonna say, talk about your Get Gills or your website or your gift cards for a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we do have a website. JDog is our webmaster. It is fatherfishaquariums.com. Fatherfishaquariums.com. We also have a Get Gills, which on Get Gills is Father Fish. We do gift cards if anyone wants to purchase a gift card as a Christmas present. We will mail those out to appropriate people, or if you prefer, keep a record of their credit here at the shop, or both.
Yeah.
We have a Patreon account. You can support us on Patreon or support us in two other ways, either through PayPal by sending a friends and family gift, or on YouTube by becoming a member. We have a on the membership membership button on our channel. There are a series of choices that also gives you access either there or Patreon, or for that matter, a gift through PayPal will give you access to our Discord channel.
And Lori's dropping some links right now, so that's good.
Thank you, Lori. Discord is a 24/7 chat channel with video and video, audio, and pictures. So you can currently post pictures. We don't have the video turned on yet, The audio may not be either, but those are coming as soon as I mention it to
Okay.
Thomas and get him to.
And we don't want to forget
Oh yeah,
this.
you can purchase
The Father
uh,
Fish mug.
a Father Fish mug by sending $25 to PayPal. The account is fatherfish at fatherfish.net. Fatherfish at fatherfish.net for a gift or a mug.
Yeah, here's Mary. We're all here with our Father Fish.
We got our Fatherfish
And
mug, right?
just a quick
Cheers.
question, Father Fish.
Yes.
Are you at this time of year where we're getting colder? Are you willing to ship fish, or are you only willing to ship plants right now?
I will. Well, we're going to ship plants.
Okay.
It's cold here now, so I'm a
Right.
little concerned about it. I
Right.
did ship 2 weeks ago, and it went through fine. So we will
Okay.
ship into January, but probably will not ship fish mid-January to early March. By
Okay.
March, we'll be shipping fish again. It just gets
So
too cold, and the heaters really cannot fight that
Yeah.
bitter cold very well.
yeah, I'm gonna answer Terry's thing in a second, but um, they noticed that my fish went to sleep. Yes, that's the one I named Jim Dandy, and she will literally go over and lay in the plant and just go to sleep.
I love Jim Dandy.
She's pretty special.
That's Miss Jim Dandy to
Miss
you.
Jim Dandy. That's right. I thought that was really cute when you said that.
That
Miss
is
Jim
cute.
Dandy.
Master Black and Terry's Tropicals. We got some.
Yeah.
Oh, Terry's Tropicals is a moderator. Yes.
No, actually, Terry's Tropical doesn't have a wrench, and we were saying that you could pass out a few wrenches today. I mentioned that.
Well, Terry's Tropicals is a moderator. I'm going to remove it and then add it. We had that happen with Cass the other day.
Yeah.
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 And
So
then, because I was like, it's not showing up blue on my screen. And then Master Black could use a wrench.
I just did that.
Okay. Was there anybody else, Mary, that you saw?
That's all I said.
Who was it? Master Black and
And Terry.
Those are the
Terry's,
two he just...
and there was somebody else. Let me see if I can find them.
Okay. I don't know how
Come
far
on.
back I can go.
Oh my
Well,
gosh,
I can
there we
only
go.
go so far back. Yeah.
Oh, there's an Episto rod, but I think this is the first time they've been here. Hello, and thank you.
So you just need to come back a couple more times, and you can get a wrench.
I put Terry's Trop. I think that's the only two.
He's very good at passing them out.
Episto Rod. Love your accent, Mary. There you go.
Is that wrench worthy?
Oh, sure.
All I was going to say about
Absolutely.
When you were talking about shipping fish is, obviously there's a small window of when you'll still be willing to ship them. So if you guys have seen anything that he has, now's the time to have it shipped in.
Yeah.
Yeah, this be the best.
We just got a big shipment of plants in yesterday.
Ooh, exciting.
I just like the fact that if I decided I want something, I can have anything. It's not like you're like, oh no, we won't sell that plant. You'll sell any of them. That's actually really cool.
Right. And he's got some big plant, like big, mature, beautiful plants.
Yeah.
Terry's Tropicals. Don't ever give me a wrench ever. Too late, Terry.
You don't have to do anything with it. It's just
you're
part of the shoal. You're part of the shoal.
That's right.
You never have to do anything.
It's your golden ticket.
You just need to be here.
That's right.
That's all you have to do.
I say
and
hello
hit the
to
thumbs
David
up.
Piper.
You do have to do that. Everybody needs to hit
please
the
just
thumbs
hit thumbs up. And matter of fact, let's check on that. We got 54 watching and 44 likes.
Yeah.
So we need 10 more likes, y'all.
That would be awesome.
45.
Oh, Rodney would like to know how are their seahorses doing?
How's the big one doing? That
The
was
big one
kind of
doing.
rough
Yeah,
yesterday.
I checked
Yeah.
it this morning and it's fine.
Oh, right.
Awesome.
I put the female in with him. They had been separated, and she immediately went up to him and curled her tail around him.
Oh,
So
they're
they
doing good.
She
they
took
were
a cotton to him.
She
she
took a cotton to him.
was missing him big time, but I think it made him a lot happier.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Episto Rod
They
is
just like
from.
to snuggle.
Who doesn't want a pretty girl wrapping her tail around you?
I say they just like to snuggle.
That's right.
Exactly.
You should film that though. It would be cute.
Yes.
I will do that.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute.
Episto Rod's from Newfoundland, Canada. Newfoundland, Canada.
Newfoundland? Yeah.
Newfoundland.
Okay.
Listen to me.
It's spelled that way, but it's Newfoundland.
Newfoundland, just like the dog. Right.
Yeah. Father Fish,
Yes.
I would really like to know if you have put those colorful shells in with the shell dwellers yet.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, we better
not
get our
letting it
colorful
go.
shells for Christmas.
Where are
We're
the
not
damn
letting it
shells?
go.
Where are those shells?
And I
Thomas!
want to see it.
I told him.
I will laugh my
I told
butt
him
off
to do
if
it.
they start breeding.
We were talking about the clown knife fish last night, and you were going to show. I don't know if there's a lot of people here that were here last night, but you were going to show them that driftwood that Frank had made.
Yes.
Right
here.
Oh, wake up! Now don't you start it. Isn't that neat?
That's neat.
Look at this. Whoops.
We don't want to see me.
You're not a piece of driftwood.
Yeah. Well, I kind of am old like driftwood.
I want that, Father Fish.
Is that
How much
nuts?
does something like that cost?
Oh, I don't know. He
It's
spent
beautiful.
hours making this.
That one's not for sale.
Yeah, it was like an all day project because he had to route it out
Yeah.
and
When
then
you turn it that way,
Yeah.
Father Fish,
Yes.
when you turn it sideways with the arm facing towards me, it looks like an alien. Turn it, yeah, looks like
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at it. Look at his little arm.
Yeah. It's really cool though.
It
I
really
can
is.
just think of all the fish that would enjoy that. Not just,
yeah.
but I mean, it is perfect for the knife fish. That's cool.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he made it for his
Yeah, if you face it towards you, you'll at least get to see their head all the time.
that's cool. Very neat.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Jonathan. Oh, okay, good.
But I will laugh, Father Fish, if you put colorful shells in and they start breeding.
I'll do it. Yeah, I know. I'll never live it.
Jonathan said, I asked a couple days ago about my guppy with the pin head size white dots, and I'm treating him with copper, and he seems to be doing better, and thank you. Oh, I'm in top chat.
Did you
Yeah,
hear
like-
that, Father Fish?
Oh my.
Oh, yes,
That was at
Episto Rod.
9:17.
Pardon.
Hello, Kara. Kara, I can't do it.
Yeah, I
I
see
can't
it.
either.
Kara,
Not even
no,
try.
Karen, I'm trying. But hello.
Karuna Garin.
Karuna
Karuna
Garen.
Garen.
I can say it after Father Fish
I
says it.
can't get the Karoon part.
No, I say Canoeira.
Rash.
It
Glad
won't
you're
stick in
here.
my head.
Yes, it does, John.
Yes, they like your driftwood.
Aposto, yes.
So basically, Jonathan was just thanking you, I think, for
Mhm.
the advice and that the treating with the copper is working.
Yeah, well.
Did we get Master Black Frenched?
Oh, did you?
It's not showing up unless that was beforehand.
No, we did not.
Okay,
Okay.
He
that
is
was
not.
our
Could
other
you
one.
please give them a
Please.
Got
wrench?
it.
Pretty please.
Done.
Give them a wrench.
With colorful shells on top
I know.
and sand.
And some rhinestones. Like a
And our
rhinestone
seahorses.
cowboy.
And our seahorses with me and
With bridles.
Joey with our little crowns on our heads and yeah, the little bridles.
Terry's Tropicals.
Oh, I see that.
Thrown out a very popular guppy group over recommending copper. Let me say this. I did not recommend copper. I do not ever recommend copper. copper is a toxin. Once you put it in the tank, you can never get it out. It's absorbed into the substrate. It's absorbed into the silicone that is sealing the tank, and it is an extreme toxin that will kill all plant life and most microscopic life. I do not approve of copper. I'm glad it's working for you, Jonathan. I hope you've got it in a separate tank and not in your general community tank, because you will rue the day. It will it will absolutely ruin a community tank, a permanent. It's it's not anything to be messed with. I absolutely oppose the use of copper. I think the problem you had, Jonathan, was one of we went around on this a while the other day. I determined it was ick, and that your solution was simply to raise the temperature to 86 degrees. I don't know if you've done that. If you have, that should suffice. Now, if it turns out it was bacteria and not ick, then certainly copper will take care of it. Unfortunately, it'll take care of everything else as well. So if you're in a quarantine tank, you're okay. It's not going to be a problem. You'll
Yeah.
need to you'll need to purge that tank, and it's not easy to get out. There, formalin, copper, and formalin, both of which are used extensively as medications, both of which are the problem with them is they work at trace levels, and they infuse themselves into the structure of your aquarium, not just the substrate, but the silicone. They'll actually etch into the silicone, and if you then rinse it out, wash it out, put plants in it or fish in it, it can still kill. It can still kill both copper and formalin. So they're extreme toxins that need to be used with a very high level of care and precision, and never ever put them in your community tank. So I'm
He
sorry.
said it was a quarantine.
Good. If they're in quarantine, you're okay. Hopefully that's gonna resolve the issue for you. I think that warning is just really vitally important. Did not in any way mean to attack you, Jonathan. I'm glad it's working, and I hope it continues to heal the fish. You might put them in a salt solution briefly, a mild salt solution, on their way back to your main tank once they have gone through the course, and or change the water, continue to change it until you get that copper out. You really need to rinse it out. It's hard to know quite what to use to get copper out, or formalin for that matter. I've had problems with both, and trust me when I say I speak from experience. Um, because I've killed a lot of fish by using copper and formalin in as treatments, and I
Um,
don't use them anymore for that reason.
yeah, we have a page. A page. We have a page. We have we have a
Oh,
question
good.
from
Yes.
David Piper, and he says, "How do you feel about breeding boxes, Father Fish? I was thinking about building some for my swordtails and platies to help me selectively keep fry from certain mothers with colors I like."
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Make sure you've got some plants in there with them so they can be comfortable and feel safe. If you put them in just a bare empty breeder box, a sword particularly will jump out at the first opportunity. It stresses them, so you want to make sure you've got some plants in there that'll give them a lot of comfort level, and will also protect the babies. Yeah, breeder boxes are always a good idea.
Ooh.
The problem with most of them is they're too small. So if you're making them, just try to make them So they're at least a half gallon size, like 6 by 4 by 3 or 4, kind of that size, and they'll be a lot happier. Even a 4-inch cube is not too small.
Pisto Rod had a good comment about, well, you were just talking about the copper and how it gets into everything. Says, is that a reason why a used tank could affect the longevity of any fish you place in it? Like, so if you bought a used tank that somebody had.
Yeah, I sell a lot of used tanks, but I've experienced, and anyone who's been around fish for very long has experienced the killer tank. The killer tank is a tank that no matter what you put in it, it dies. Um, and typically, what you have to do with that tank is put it out in the trash because at a given point there ain't no hope. Um, the We used to have a worse problem with the tar tanks, the slate bottom tanks, because that slate and the tar
Yes.
absorb chemicals pretty easily. Glass does not, but silicone does. Doesn't absorb everything, but as I mentioned, it will absorb copper in it. It will also absorb um, what God can't think.
Formalin.
Formalin, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And
Uh,
that's why I think you can't, you could unknowingly buy a tank that somebody has kept reptiles in. And that doesn't always go well either, with
yeah,
the
true enough.
urine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
And
good
you
idea.
don't know when you buy
Yeah,
a
if
used
you
tank.
get a used tank, um, do a thorough bleach job on it. Pour straight bleach into it, particularly in the seams, um, and then rinse it thoroughly. Because if you leave bleach in there, that's going to kill the fish. But the
Right.
bleach will rinse out. So
Right.
you can fill it, empty it, fill it again, empty it, rinse it thoroughly. Um, and
I
if they,
like to
yeah,
I
go
like to
ahead.
follow that up with white vinegar after the bleach, white vinegar, and then rinse
Good.
again.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, it's a mild acid that does help to
Yeah.
purge. I usually, more often than not, I'll just set up a tank, get it thoroughly set up, and throw some dither fish in.
Yep. See what
Um,
happens.
yeah, and normally it's not a problem. I mean, you run into it 1% of the time. So the reality is, if you're messing with a bunch of plants or a bunch of tanks rather, it's probably not worth the extra effort. Um, it's so long as you're careful about doing dither
Mm-hmm.
fish to make sure it's okay. Lee is commenting.
Yeah.
Oh, this
And
is
then
fun.
after this, I have to figure out how to get this iPad back to doing what I want it to do.
Lee has some kudos today. He
Does
says
he?
Glass Box got the gold today, followed by Fishmar with the silver, and T-Bone gets another medal. Comedian of the day goes to Sharpie. The planted toilet with the lid up gag cracked me up. Right, a lot of yeah
Oh, I love this, Lee.
adolescents with toilet humor. Right. Um, James is saying I've used tons of used tanks in my day, including the old stainless steel with slate. I've got a
Oh, me
collection.
too.
I've got a
Hmm.
collection of stainless tanks with slate bottoms, and I was
I
thinking,
saw them.
I'm going to reach the point where I'm going to restore them and sell them.
Hmm.
Probably
I
a
have one.
Yep.
yeah. I've got a couple of big ones and a bunch of smaller ones.
I
I
saw them
think they're
lined up in
cool.
one of your videos one time. Are they still set up right now? with fish in them? Some of them.
I've got only 1 or 2 set up.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are some heavy because you got that slate to begin.
Oh, they are heavy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add your substrate, so you got to have a good stand, to put
Yeah.
it on. But the little one I bought it at a little auction, and it's probably like 2 gallons, 2.5 gallons.
Nice.
I haven't set it up; it's still in my dining room. I just wanted it.
Sure.
Collects things. Stuff for
Oh,
my house.
thank you, Chevy. Chevy dropped a link for
But it
something
reminded
with the
me
ceiling.
of my first tank, so I bought it.
Right, exactly.
It's just I overpaid. I paid like $50 at an auction. I don't like to get beat.
Okay, thank you, Chevy. Chevy linked something about copper sorb from Seachem takes care of the copper. I linked it. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Chevy. Great.
Thank you, Chevy Fish. Yeah.
Thank you, Lori, for always dropping links. Everybody dropping links. You're welcome to drop your own link.
Yes, that's true. We don't mention that, do we? Yeah.
I don't know and I think Jonathan, even though had the thing with the copper, it turned into a very good discussion because I didn't know that about copper.
Right.
I had no idea.
And it was good to know it wasn't a quarantine tank for him. Yeah.
Right. So that's really good. And Sharpie, I hope I saved you maybe hopefully a little bit of because I used the dog dewormer in this tank. What is it? Yeah. Stronja, is it Stronja G? Yes, I can't remember, but whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yep. And even though I treated the planaria and the substrate sat for like a month or 2 afterwards, and then I ended up putting sand on top of it to like seal that substrate, it's still, I can't put snails in there. Even after all this time, they just don't. Yeah.
They don't make it. Yeah.
I haven't tried shrimp yet, but the snails, I figured once I capped it, it'd be okay, but they're still.
So you need a test shrimp, Mary.
Yeah, I've got a couple over there, but I just can't take the heart to get rid of any of them yet.
It's the only way you're going to know.
They're all special.
Yeah, what I've come to is I will, the only thing I will put in a community tank is sulfa, because the sulfa drugs lose their potency very quickly. They're like a poisonous snake. They strike, they inject their poison, and then it's gone. It breaks down. It's organic, essentially. So it breaks down very quickly, and it doesn't survive very long in the tank. But other than that, I don't use any kind of toxin in my systems. Thomas just walked in. Hello, Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
Hello, Thomas.
Well,
there he is.
Hi, Thomas.
Hey, Thomas.
Because I wouldn't get frustrated.
Did you ever try the no planaria father fish? Remember I said we got some, like we got it too, but
no, I never had.
I feel like if your tank's going well, you don't really have that many issues.
Yeah, that was before I found. That was before I ever came up here. That was back when I was still on Lucas's stream, and I asked the dreaded question. I said, I have planaria, and everybody made a big joke out of it, and it was my first time ever there. And I was like, what did I say that was so funny? Yeah. And, he was like, oh, no, here comes the planaria question. It always happens. And it was me. But I ended up using it, and it was before I had any other fish. I just had 3 Cory cats in there at the time, and they were everywhere. But Kara Nagu, I couldn't say it again, was asking about trumpet snails.
Karuna
Garin. Did I get it?
Pretty good, yep.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm struggling with that, too. Just cannot.
All right, ladies. Copper and formalin commonly used. Yep. Yes, they were.
Yep.
Copper and formalin. Formalin and malachite green. Or was it? Yeah, it was formalin and malachite green were developed in the 1950s by Merle Cohen of Aquarium Products as an curative. He later sold that formula for about $1 million to APET, along with the rest of his company, to APET. I think it was a couple of, I don't know how much it was. It was a lot of money to APET. Actually, his son sold the business. He was a dear friend who at a certain point in time, never used the product again. Yeah, we did a lot of things back in the beginning. Um, when we set up saltwater tanks initially, we did two things. We threw a copper penny in the tank and we urinated in the tank. That created ammonia and it killed all the parasites. It also killed everything else. But it gave the longevity then for saltwater fish was 2 to 3 months. It's much better today. We sold we sold saltwater fish that rarely, if ever, survived 90 days. That was back in the 50s. Started with saltwater in the 50s and into the 60s. By the 70s, we had a better handle on it, and they were living a year or more. Now it's not unusual. I have a friend who has a pair of clownfish, per clowns, that have been breeding for 15 years that are
Wow.
20 years old and still breeding. He's had tens of thousands of babies from that one pair of fish.
But that's like incredible because that means he really is an excellent fish keeper to
Oh, he
have
absolutely is.
breeding care
He
let and
absolutely is.
produce for 15 years.
Yeah, this
That's
is
amazing.
Brian Green. I've talked about him before. I would love to be able to get into his fish room and give you a view, a look at it. It's wonderful. But he's with COVID, and he has a brand new. His daughter had a baby who has a dreadful skin condition that requires care 24/7. So he's been spending. He's a therapist who's been
Yeah.
spending much of his time with the grandbaby, and his tanks have kind of gone down.
Yeah, I
Uh,
get it. Life.
but eventually, when they get some stability with that child, this has been going on for 2 years,
And
and
it
with
sounds like it's not going to end. So,
no, it doesn't. It's a lifelong condition.
yeah.
That typically a child who has that will live at best into their 20s. Um, but it's
And it,
any kind of pressure at all on the skin causes it to break down or
uh,
tear. Just super sensitive skin.
yeah.
It's one of those conditions that desperately needs a medical breakthrough in order
Absolutely.
in order
And
to
it's
heal it.
a labor of love because, like you
It
said, it's
absolutely is. And this is the most delightful child you'd ever want to meet. Just an absolute sweetheart.
That's too bad. But I can see where your fish hobby gets put to the side
Yep,
because
yep,
the
yep.
child comes
You
first.
bet.
Absolutely. I just want to say again, happy birthday, Morgan. I hope you have a good day. Love you.
I was late and couldn't even say, I was going to say happy birthday to you. Happy
Yep.
birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Morgan. Happy birthday to you, my love. That's my baby girl, y'all.
Nice.
There it is.
And many more.
And many more.
And more and more and more. Okay, Epista Rod had another question, but I'm going to save it for later. Emily Stevens, that's one that I was thinking about needed a wrench, but we didn't see her till just now.
Can
She
you
was
still
up
do
there
it for other
earlier.
fish?
She had one, didn't
Oh,
she?
okay. No, she's the only one. It's right at 9:38.
Well, I got to go back.
See, yeah, I got to get
No, on
Epista
my
Rod's
end,
question.
she's green.
Is it?
Well,
She's
she's
black
a
on mine.
Oh, but she doesn't have a wrench.
Yeah.
She's a member,
She's
but
a
she
member,
doesn't have
but
a
doesn't
wrench.
have a wrench.
That's what you're seeing. You're right, Mary.
Chevy
Doesn't have
singing
an
too.
actual wrench. She's joined your membership, your club.
Yeah, Emily has
There you
been
are.
trying to get together for weeks, and we haven't pulled it off yet.
She says she's never had one, and she really wants a wrench. Please,
Well, let's see.
please.
Emily is now duly and appropriately wrenched.
Emily, say something.
T-Bone's trying to get to 700 to 100 subs. Make sure you go over to T-Bone and sign up on his channel. He's trying to get to 100 subs.
I thought I was subbed, but I'm going to double check. And if I'm not, I will be
And
subbing.
I was wondering if anybody had Tisha's. I was trying to find her link
Emily.
because I'm trying to.
Alvarez is talking about using Dawn dish soap. I don't like it because it's very difficult to rinse it all out, and you have to get every bit of it out, or it'll clog up the fish's gills. You can use
vinegar after.
Yeah, if you use vinegar afterwards to clear out the soap. Yeah,
because sometimes you do need the soap, but yeah, really rinse it out with the vinegar.
Under the most extreme of circumstances, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know, razor blade works as well, I think. So
there
you can use soap. What is the?
Oh, there was only.
So make sure you rinse it thoroughly, and rinse with vinegar. That'll help get the surfactants.
It will. You'll feel the difference on the glass once you rinse it with vinegar and rinse it out. It'll have a different feel to it. You'll know it's clean.
Yeah. So any kind of soap contains surfactants, and surfactants are they clog up the breathing apparatus of living creatures, whether it's bacteria or microscopic animal life or fish or whatever. Surfactants are it'll take oil off a duck.
Exactly.
True. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But you would never use it on a fish.
Right.
Well, can I throw the last question at you real quick? Because Jess says she's having computer trouble. She was kind of, there we go. Episto Rod wanted to know if you have any thoughts on copper testing kits, the API test. Have you ever used the copper testing kits?
Well, I haven't recently because I haven't had the issue, but yeah, they will test for copper.
So they're accurate.
So if you're they work.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I think we got everything. If we didn't, please let me know. And Tisha, I turned my notification bell.
Emily has her wrench. Bravo.
She's very happy with her wrench.
Wonderful.
Don't use any other dish soap but Dawn. Hey, Dawn works great on horses too.
Yeah, I agree with that though. If you're gonna use a dish soap, only use Dawn.
use Dawn.
Yeah. But then Father Fish is correct. You need to rinse and make sure it's out of the tank.
All righty. This is a call for Christmas songs. We have only 3. We need more if we're coming into the Christmas season.
And I've got mine, and I need to. Well, I mean, I could always sing it, but I don't think I could do it.
I could do it today.
I could try.
She would rather have it come in as a video, not live. I think that's
if I could figure out where I put it. Hold on. I sang it to Roxanne last night.
Did you? How'd she like it?
She liked it. Hold on. Let me find my. I don't know.
Get Roxanne to do a Christmas song.
Okay. Do y'all want me to try to sing it? I'll try.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
This is to what is it? Let It Snow. Okay, I gotta take this out of my ear though. I can't.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, that doesn't work either. I get cracked up when I do this stuff. Okay, I'm nervous. I'm not going to look up. Take me off there.
Don't.
Okay.
You don't have to look into the screen.
To keep my tank from getting frightful, plants and sand will make it delightful. And since I got nowhere to go, get the hose, let it flow, let it flow. It doesn't show any signs of stopping. Water changes, keeps it popping. Make sure your lights aren't down low. Get the hose, let it flow, let it flow. When we finally bid each other good night, we can join the Discord forum, making fish keeping a delight. And make sure to keep your fishies warm. Now our troubles are subsiding. No more plants and fish are dying. As long as we have Father Fish's show, let it flow, let it go, love you, shoal.
Very
That was
nice.
excellent, Mary.
Lovely.
You did a good job, and your lyrics were awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Love
I'll try to do it a little more.
Very nice.
Okay, as long as it was in tune. I know it wasn't. It was shaky,
it was.
but
you were there. I heard it.
okay.
All right, here's He Fishy's Christmas song. We'll go off with this. Bless you all.
Father
Have a lovely day.
Love y'all.
See you tonight.
Setting
Bye,
up
everybody.
on Christmas Eve. You can say there's no way he's down in there. But as for me and Mary, we believe. He'd been carrying too much sand now. And he tipped in with the bag. He wanted to make a deep bed. Now he's fertilizing plants instead. When they found him in the morning, in that tank way in the back, he was beneficial down there. The plant roots were never ever looking back. Father Fish got buried in his substrate, setting up a new tank Christmas Eve. You can say there's no way he's down in there. But as for me and Mary, we believe. Now we're all so proud of Mary. She's been taking this so well. See her sleeping in with Calvin, changing water and giving guppies crushed eggshell. All our tanks suck without Father. An inch of gravel now we hate. And we just can't help but wonder, should we haul those bags of sand and test our fate? Test our fate! Father Fish got buried in his substrate, setting up a new tank Christmas Eve. You can say there's no way he's down in there. But as for me and Mary, we believe.
Bravo. Thank you all.
That's so cute.
Bless
All right.
Cute.
Hey, Did, Fred, and bye. See y'all later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
See